All right, guys. So, hello. I would like to show you the game on which I'm working nowadays. So the name is currently named WarClass. Uh, that's uh, that's just a name. And basically, this game is heavily influenced by Age of Empires 3, Europa Universalis 4, Pokemon, Diablo, and other things like this. Um, for now, the gameplay is not really defined yet. So it's more like the engine. I'm working on the engine first to see how it works and then see what exactly I can do with this engine. Um, so the game is programmed in full JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. It runs on the browser. As you can see here, I'm on Google Chrome, right? And I don't use any libraries like WebGL or 3GS to render the game. The game is rendered with CSS, JavaScript, and HTML. The only library that I'm using is Noise.js, which is for the terrain generation. So it gives me some nice randomized patterns. So yeah, it's what I have so far. So once you start the game, you can you can see the world map, and there are several super regions in the game. So so you have all these regions here. If you hover over the regions, you can see um, different informations. The most important is the cultures, because this is kind of like what you are going to see once you enter the region, right? So once again, the game is set in the 18th century. Uh, yes, it's not exactly 100% defined, but it's more like 1700s, the 17th cent and the 18th century. So let's see if, for example, I select the Iberia region. So you can see all the adventures that are available in this region. So this is where you can pick your starting adventures. Adventures in the game, you have to understand that they are kind of like items in an ARPG game, like Diablo, for example. They are kind of like randomized. They have rarity, they have quality, they have statistics, they have attributes, they have starting skills, they have passive effects, and things like that. They have types. So this is kind of like in the game Pokemon. In this game, you have 8 different types. You have like soldier, religious, intellectual, explorers, outlaw, things like this, slaves. Um, yeah. So let's see what you have here available in Iberia. So for example, here you have the Échevin, which is a a French adventurer. He has the intellectual and commander type. You can see his statistics. So the red one is strength, and then you have cunning, and then you have artisanship and education. You also have the attack and the attack type. So you have 4 different attack types. You have unarmed, you have melee, you have gunpowder, and you have archery. And also you have non-fighting for the adventurers who don't have attack, who cannot fight. And you have other information as well, other data and things like this. So it's kind of like randomized. The types influence the main attribute of the adventure, and also the numbers. So if I reroll here, for example, right, the missionary here with religious type. Religious allows the adventurer to have like either artisanship as a main attribute or education as a main attribute. And here you have like this missionary here is white, so it means he has like kind of like a normal quality. but you see the green one is like uncommon and the blue one is rare, something like this. And you also have more rarities that are not displayed here. So this is what you can select. And in the game, you have many adventures of many cultures. And as you can see, you have a lot of these units directly from Age of Empires 3. I just want to say also that many of the assets of the game, most of the assets of the game are taken from other games and also taken from the internet in general. And I have also used, yeah. So for example, here you have like the Gizai, right? This Persian soldier who also has the outlaw type. And you see that he has strength and cunning as main attributes. So this is influencing his stat growth. He has the gunpowder, and also you see that he has a starting skill marksmanship, right? So if I select the Gizai, it's going to give me the marksmanship um, as a starting skill. So I can select up to 3 different adventures. So here I'm going to select the Gizai, the Kazakh settlers, and the Kuzbegi, right? So all these are from kind of like Central Asia, Persia, and I mean these are adventures that you can find. Uh, what did I select? I think I selected Turkestan. I don't remember, right? But that's the thing. And then here you can kind of like customize your starting group because you play as a group. You can select different prefixes, and also you might have available suffixes here for your group, depending on the types and the most recurrent types that you have based on the adventures that you have in your group. So if I select the calendar here, who has the religious type, I might be able maybe wait, to have different options here, right? So this, right, the prefix and the suffix of your group influences things. So for now, it also influences the initial goal that you get and the rebate and things like this, right? So this is not super important now, but here you have the sum of the attributes of your adventures. These primary attributes are important for your group attributes, for your group stats. I'm going to show you later, um, right? So yeah, adventures have upkeep depending on their times, depending on their quality, depending on their values, basically, right? And also they have a price, a starting buying price that you have to deduce from your initial gold. All right, so that's like kind of like the beginning first, and then you confirm, or if you want, you can select another starting area. For example, here Sahara, and I'm going to select random adventures here. I don't really care. And yeah, you can see I have a lot of different skills. So I confirm, and here I am in the game. So your group right now is represented by this Landscanet. It's just an asset that I got from the Age of Empires 2 modding community. You can also see the trees here of directly from Age of Empires 2. So yeah, these are just placeholders, right? Here on the left side, you can see your party, you can see your adventures, you can see their attributes. You can see your inventory here. This is not implemented yet. You can see the skills that you have. And this is interesting. It works kind of like in Path of Exiles. So you have the starting skills of your adventures, and then you can kind of like put them in your adventures depending on their slot, uh, right? So for example, here, the Berber Nomad has 2 commoner slots. So it means that this skill here, pastoralism, is of commoner type, and I can put it either in the Berbal Nomad slot, or maybe I can put it in the Badawi because the Badawi has also a commoner slot, a skill slot, right? And here, if I use the cheats and I give myself more skills. So for example, here, initiation is a religious skill, and I can put it here in the cannibal rider religious slot. So yeah, it allows you to customize. Basically, you have skills and you can put it in your adventures the way you want based on their slots, right? So that's the thing. If you want to have like this is also like not defined yet, but here you can see all the kind of like the skills. They are organized by types, by themes, but all the skills for now they don't do anything. It's just a database for me to build the game on and around, right? But let's not look at this now. So here we are in the game, and once again, the game is all JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So what you see here are HTML elements, divs. Uh, yeah, divs basically, right? So it's kind of like yeah, it's just a website, and it's not a game engine. It's not WebGL. It's not Unity or something like that. So here you have the minimap at the right top corner, and yeah, you can. So the map is randomly generated based on the region, based on the vegetation, based on the climate, and many other things like this. So you can move around, you can discover things. For example, here there is a ruin. And also I've recently implemented the totems, so they don't have really like a purpose. Now you can just use them to teleport yourself to another area, another region. Um, so yeah, you can move around and you can see that the engine supports like revealing of the minimap. So there is this exploration aspect to it, right? So you have rivers that are generated. You can walk in the river. It's a little bit slower. And also you may have like roads. So I'm going to move around quickly like this. Is there a road in this map? I'm not sure. Let's try to find something. Yeah, so you have animals, you have trees and things like that. And so this is the game, right? This is where you play. Let's look at the group sheet. So here it's going to be it's kind of like an RPG, right? You have your attributes, you have your major attributes and things like this. So it's all influenced by different things, and of course, what influences your attributes, your group attributes the most is the adventures that you have in your party. One interesting thing, for example, is cultural variance, which represents, as you can see here, I've written the average distance in terms of culture amongst the adventurers in the group of the group. Having adventures of very different cultures results in a high cultural variance, while having adventures who are culturally more close to one another lowers the culture variance. So here we have like mostly North African adventures, so the culture variance is not that strong. But if I'm going to uh, add random adventures, maybe like this, right? So here I have more adventures. Uh, yeah, I should have like a little bit more cultural variance, and it also influences the cohesion of your group, things like this. So I have not implemented all these statistics yet, but it's going to be quite interesting, right? Resilience, cohesion, legacy, influence, fame, moral, law, and the primary attributes that are directly the sum of what your adventurers have. So that's basically it. All right, so let's move to another region, and I can show you the world map that you can use in the game. So it's represented as a table, and each area, each region is one cell of the table, right? So you can see here, for example, in Europe, in Spain and Portugal, you have, so this is the region called Iberia. And yeah, you have forests, you have mountains. You can click on a region, you can see the vegetation, you can see the terrain, the climate, and different other information, the culture that you might encounter in these regions. So yeah, let's go, for example, here in the Pyrenees, right? So this is a mountainous region, and the vegetation here is meadow, and it's temperate and things like that. So let's see how it looks. All right, so here we are in the middle of the Pyrenean Mountains. So this is the meadow biome. And yeah, you can see the assets are placeholders from other games, from mods, from the internet, basically. So let's try to move on this road here and follow this road. We move a little bit faster, and maybe we can find something interesting. Yeah, there are more ruins. You can also see sometimes buildings. So this is, yeah, this is temporary, of course. Is there any building around here? Yes. Okay, so this is just a placeholder here from Age of Empires 2. The buildings that are generated depends on the culture, on the region, on a lot of things. So here, for example, you have an abbey, which is a religious building, and then you would be able in later to interact with buildings that you find. You may also have cities and villages and things like that that I want to implement. So yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's really, really the beginning. But so far, it's cool to see how the terrain generates and how you can explore things. Okay, let's go to Barbary Coast here because this totem allows us to teleport to Barbary Coast. So this biome is not really worked on, but you can see we have different buildings. So we are in Barbary Coast. So this is kind of like Tunisia. And you have a caravanserai here, which is a building that is available in this region. Let's move to this region next to us here, which is also from Barbary Coast, and it's Tugay biome. So it's more visually interesting, right? You have some plants, some bushes. Once again, everything is div. It's not using any engine, so to speak. Yeah, I just want to show you a little bit how it works. So it plays with CSS perspectives, right? So you can manually kind of adjust as you want. The game is slightly inclined as well, things like this, right? So of course I'm not going to play like this, but yeah, right, this is pretty good like this, right? Maybe a little bit too much, I don't know, right? And also you can disable the 3D effect like this. It doesn't, yeah, like this, right? So here it's all 2D, it's just 2D, right? No 3D effects, no perspective. But let's put the perspective back because it looks very good like this. So here we are in the Tugay region, in the Tugay biome of Barbary Coast. Do we find something interesting? Is there like any building or something? I don't see anything really, but yeah. Yeah, here there is another caravanserai. Yeah, so you have a lot of things. You have US, I mean, the America here, Canada, the Great Lakes. Here we're going to move to the Great Lakes, and this is the woodland. And yeah, oh, the trees are too small. I haven't I should have changed that. But basically, it's kind of like a forest. It should be looking like a forest. Now, one thing that I am going to show you now that we have. So yeah, this region basically has been generated. So I'm going to generate it again, and I'm going to go back to this region, or maybe another one that I've been. Maybe this one here. Yes, the region we have been before. So you can see now that we have others. We have other groups that are represented by this red character. And it's the same group actually, but so what is a group? A group is a group of other adventures that are generated based on the region, the cultures, the factions, and things like that. So you can interact with these groups. Now you cannot do much, but you can at least you can inspect them and you can see what adventures they have that are part of their group, and you can see their statistics, their attributes, and things like that. So it's pretty cool. And also there is a basic combat system now. So I can show you, right? If I want to attack this group, for example, so you have their position, and it works kind of like as a uh, auto batcher. So you can put your adventures uh, at, at the bottom here, and they are going to automatically target the nearest ones. It shows the range of your adventures. So we have archery, gunpowder, gunpowder, and gunpowder. So let's fight, and let's see who can win this fight. So you see the HPs. Actually, I'm going to lose, so I'm going to regenerate everything. Okay, let's accelerate everything. And I'm just going to cheat. Okay, wait, what happened? They won. I don't get it. Maybe there is a bug. Oh, what is happening? Oh, wait. Okay, so the full map has been revealed. That's kind of weird. But basically, yeah, you see the basics, you see how it works. And this is what I'm working on, right? So the whole world is there. Many cultures, Asian cultures, Indian cultures, Chinese cultures with different adventures. Let's move to the prairie here. Oh, we have a shrine because we are in China, right? So if I regenerate this region again, and maybe I might encounter other groups that have more like Chinese adventures in them. So for example, here we have a wandering coven with a Warang, with a Khazara, with a blind monk, and an advisor and a Yuxia, right? So we can inspect them, and you can see they have, I mean, yeah, they are kind of, all of them are kind of unique, right? You have like hundreds of adventures with different statistics, different attacks, different things. So maybe we can like add more adventures to our group, not the ones that are buggy, but the ones that are, okay, maybe we can try like this, right? Okay, this one cannot attack. Let's go let's go this way, and this one is going to, actually, this one is going to divert to them. Let's go. So you can see the damage that all the adventurers have done, and the number of attacks. So you can see the one that has done the most damage. So yeah, we are victorious. We have won the fight, and it doesn't work now. It worked before, but I want you to be able to capture adventures from the defeated groups, right? So you have like prisoners, and then you can eventually add them to your party, things like that. So you can choose, you can spare them, you can execute them, or things like that. But we are not going to do that. Yeah, so we have one XP. We are now level 3, and we can upgrade our adventures. So maybe I'm going to upgrade the Buccaneer. here. So if I level up the Buccaneer, you see that the statistics are increased. And the main attributes of the Buccaneer is strength and cunning. So he's going to gain more per level, right? It kind of like works like in Warcraft 3 or Dota, right? With main attributes and increase per level, things like this. Okay, so the performance of the game, it's pretty good because you cannot see too far, you cannot see much, right? But if I unzoom a lot, you see that it's really unplayable and it's very broken. So yeah, it's good to have a short line of sight so the game is not laggy, right? So sometimes you also have like lone adventures. So yeah, it's all randomly generated. Um, Different step sounds based on where you walk. Oh, we have ruins here. And also I want to be able to like build and do more things, right? So the possibilities are endless. So yeah, like when you build something, maybe it's going to work like this. You select an area and boom, you build a building or something like that, right? And then it stays there. Uh, yeah, let's go to Siberia. So here it's a taiga, right? Taiga with pine trees and things like this. And here we have a yurt because in Siberia you have people uh, who inhabit yurts, right? So yeah, that's the thing, right? You have collision systems. So for example, these rocks, you cannot go through them, right? Actually, yeah, if you go to mountainous areas, like this one here is mountain or something, you have more rocks or something, but this biome is not very developed yet. You don't have I don't have vegetation available for this biome. Only the totems are there. Oh, this one is able to take us to Yukon. Maybe we can explore a little bit of the tundra. So let's go to the north of Lapland, vegetation tundra. And yeah, right. So yeah, it looks a little bit like a tundra, right? And I'm not sure if we have buildings that are available here for this region. It's pretty rare to find buildings that are generated. I think I should tweak that. But anyway, there is no gameplay yet, so you can just explore and move around. But basically, that's the base of the game, right? Also, you have the factions. Once again, it's something that uh, I'm working on. I mean, yeah, I want the game to have factions. So, but I don't want the game to have like empires and things. I prefer to have like small groups, some factions like the Cossacks. I don't know, the Koshas, the Corso, the Gorkali, something like this. The Janissaries, of course. Like, yeah, this is kind of like an alternate history where, let's say, the Ottoman Empire doesn't exist, but it's more like a Janissary kingdom or something, or a Mamluk in Egypt, uh, of course, the Corso in Barbary Coast, uh, the at Sun Bay in Canada. Yes, I want to have a alternate version of history. So yeah, that's the game, right? What is there beside that? Uh, yeah, you have your resources, your gold. You have a weather system as well, but the time of day doesn't change because I'm still unsure how I'm going to implement if it's going to be real time or semi real time. maybe like cell by cell, it increases by 15 minutes, something like this, right? So I want this game to be kind of like a survival exploration light RPG uh, kind of game. Yeah, where you can explore, you can discover treasures. Yeah, the idea, right? It's kind of like you are with your group and you have to move around. You have to look for other adventures. You have to create your ideal group. So it allows you to play, to role play, but also to have like strategic choices, um, combos, and things like this. Kind of like Pokemon, right? Or if you know the game Siralim, I I'm also influenced by this game. Yeah. Um, let's go back to the dessert. Right. So here we are uh, in the desert. Oh, a lot of trees here. Yeah, I also want to be able to gather trees to cut wood from them. Like yeah, kind of like a free a sandbox RPG where you can do pretty much what you want with what you have available. Uh, so you have to move, you have to travel, you have to go to cities, you get quests. I want the quest to be also randomly generated. I don't want the game to have like a kind of like a story because I don't really like stories in games. But yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the game, right? So once again, HTML, JavaScript, no WebGL, no 3GS, no engine. It's all native JavaScript, and it shows, right? Actually, like if you want to know, this is a grid-based table where each div is organized as a grid, right? Maybe I can show you the code if you want.